Good morning, Woodland Middle School. I appreciate you being here today. Welcome 8th grade students. Welcome students from our other schools. I'm Mr. Kennedy, the principal here, and I just want to say thank you to everyone here for making Space Talk South Carolina happen today. We've got about 19 minutes, a little bit more, until our students are able to step up here and talk to astronauts. Just very excited about that. I just wanted to say a quick thank you to our superintendent, Mr. Beckwith, right here behind me, Ms. Rode and Dr. Ferguson. These three have made this happen. We've gotten permission to do this, along with our students who have been participating from all 4 schools. I especially want to thank our 8th graders here. Very happy for them. Give yourself a round of applause, please. I also want to thank our gentlemen here, our people from South Carolina Department of Employment and Workforce, our Trident Amateur Radio Club, TARC. We really appreciate them being here. All of them in their orange shirts today. Round of applause. And also ARISS from the Amateur Radio on the International Space Station. A big thank you to all of them as well. And I do want to welcome our visiting schools. They are online on Zoom, and we're going to give them a shout out in just a little bit, but I do want to call them out from Lake Marion Middle School in Orangeburg County. Yes, Lake Marion, give yourself a round of applause, absolutely. Dr. Ronald McNair School of Digital Communications and Leadership. And Hillcrest Middle School. Congratulations. Thank you for all of them. I just want to say welcome, and now I'd like to introduce Dr. Ferguson. She has become a member of Woodland Middle School. She has been here, it's like almost every day, and we appreciate her from the start last summer, I guess, when all this started. It's come now to fruition, and we appreciate it. I'd like to bring her up and her have some words. So come on down, Dr. Ferguson.
Thank you, Prince Kennedy. Students say that our approach to engage them is boring, our career titles mean nothing to them, and they want to be involved. Well, Operation Space Talk SST 2024 launched the solution for these gaps. Good morning. I am Patricia Ferguson, the Trident Regional Workforce Advisor serving Berkeley, Charleston, and Dorchester counties. How did Operation Space Talk start? Interesting story. Well, our friends now, after about a year of work, the Trident Amateur Radio Club presented this great opportunity from ARISS, the Amateur Radio on the International Space Station program, for us to allow students what we're here for today, to speak to astronauts. From there, a huge proposal team came together with the PD, the Lower Savannah, the Santee Lynch's region, Mr. Fred Wilson, our new uncle, Dr. Myers, and the South Carolina Army National Guard. We aligned that program with South Carolina's science curriculum. We tied in Workforce Development Month, Manufacturing Month, National Career Development Month, and we believed we had a winner. Well then, what exactly is it? Great questions on a day of questions. So it includes a focus on STEM. It includes a focus on communications. We're going to talk about space, and we talk about human space flight. We challenge the students to communicate effectively, think critically, work in teams, and solve problems. We had a fabulous point system of excellence, with the culminating activity right here, the privilege of hosting the contact, congratulations Woodland, that's my school, and of course asking the astronaut questions. The project is multi-county, multi-middle school, multi-region, multi-district, it's just multi. And we are thrilled today because these are our schools along the I-95 corridor. You know what that means. But we are thrilled that we have the Wolves from Woodland, the Wildcats from Hillcrest, the Panthers from McNair, the Gators from Lake Marion, and more than 500 brilliant 8th graders. That was our program. So then we also know that with 50 or more teams competing, there had to be a champion. Well, Team the Biggest, Team Mission Control, Team Space Explorers, Team Overtake the Billionaires, you reign. Well done. In that project, you excelled in the foundational activities where you had lectures about STEM, lectures about amateur radio, lectures about communications. You had hands-on activities from our STEM and amateur radio professionals. Talk even gave you some video lessons and a pop quiz. You had pre-post tests and you had a questions challenge where we asked you to think like an astronaut. In the design phase, this is where you all got excited. You pulled in the design thinking process. You started moving into teamwork and problem solving and communications, critical thinking. All key skills our industry leaders are looking for today. You aced it. And then you wrapped up into an in-school competition, very similar to the slideshow you saw earlier, where you built these amazing rovers that could do anything from take picture, dig up dirt, or just roll. You guys were marvelous. And finally, in the experience stage, we had Rover Days, where you focused and helped us answer that age-old question students ask, when will I ever use this stuff? Well, you did at Rover Days. You learned about the citadel. You went into the command center, you wrote some codes, you built some space non-gravity apparatus, and then of course, you talked a bit with the amateur radio team, the military on site. You also had some astronaut debriefings, that's this group. And then we saw the Rover on Mars competition. I think Hillcrest won, so I'll say congratulations, Hillcrest. Following, you gained an opportunity to join TART and perhaps become an amateur radio professional yourself. That's been offered to you. Now the privilege, the culminating activity in which the biggest mission-controlled space explorers overtake the billionaires to ask questions of the astronaut while in orbit. Congratulations, students. You are ARISS champions, OSTSC superstars, and our 2024 astronaut ambassadors. So finally, as we close, we just want to say a few well-deserved thank yous. Thank you, students, for allowing us to intrude in your lessons. Thank you, Superintendent Beckwith, for allowing us to come to Woodland today. We thank our principal, Principal William, and Principal Edie, Principal Staggers, and of course, Principal Kennedy. Our school leaders, these 8 science teachers, we could not have done it without you. Milford, Bobo Francis, Rowe, Benjamin, Easley, our curriculum director, Roberson, our career professional, Speller, our great STEM facilitator, Mr. Fred Wilson. You participated in educator training and Sparky training, and you hosted the launch day. You attended bi-monthly meetings. Our partners, Julie Planetarium, Dr. Jeanette Myers, the South Carolina Army National Guard, especially Master Sergeant Lewis and Major Franzi. Autumn Fowler, Beverly Boyd, TARP, for your excellent technical visits that have us here today, for judging logos and judging our questions, thank you. Thank you, ARISS. SCRWAs, it has been a pleasure. 2024 astronaut ambassadors, you reign. Now let the question games begin. Thank you.
We built our dreams on boxes found, with tape and scissors all around. Two wheels rolling, here's out, we're gonna show them what we found. From Woodland we will take the scene. Our car will over sleek and lean. Mechanical heart that's for the keen to raise the glory through the green. Wolves on wheels, let's start the show. We'll race the stars where rivers flow through valleys. watch with wide-eyed stare. Our rover lines without a care. Every turn it takes just air. We soar through space to flare. Together we make history true. With gears and dreams and kids to pursue. No challenge big we can't undo. We know the future out of blue.
To talk directly with astronauts on the International Space Station today. While we're waiting for the space station to come over your portion of the sky, let's talk a little bit about how it's going to happen. Of course, Mission Control is in contact with astronauts all the time, using a big radio with lots of fancy equipment.
However, we're going to be using something very different today. We are going to use ham or amateur radio to talk directly to the International Space Station.
When most people hear the word radio, they think of a music radio station. But it's so much more than that. Radio actually refers to the unseen energy that transmits all sorts of signals using electromagnetic waves. At first, people learned how to send signals like Morse code. And then they discovered that you can send so much more, like data, computer signals, and even TV.
Maybe you don't realize it, but you use radio every day. Maybe you watched the TV this morning, or you texted your friends, or maybe even you checked social media like Twitter or Instagram.
Let's travel back to space for a minute. Since the beginning of the space age, humans have sent many spacecraft out into the universe. These range from the Hubble Space Telescope, orbiting the Earth daily, and the Curiosity rover exploring Mars. We've even sent a long-distance messenger, the Voyager 1, who has traveled outside of our solar system.
Whether it's capturing a great picture of a far-off galaxy or conducting experiments on the space station, radio has to do with all. And today, you're going to be using ham radio. Now you might be wondering, what exactly is ham radio?
Amateur or ham radio is a service and a hobby where operators can talk to people around their neighborhoods, their cities, their country, and even around the world. Amateur radio operators require a radio license from the government. They're not that hard to get. I have one. My call sign is KM4LAO.
And mine is KD81BJ. Our call signs are a way of identifying who we are to other operators. This lets everyone know that we have the proper license to using the radios.
As amateur radio operators, or hands as we are often called, we can talk with others about basically whatever we want, often science or some new radio gadget that we are interested in.
Let's focus back to the space station and your contact today. Many of the astronauts and cosmonauts aboard the space station are licensed ham radio operators. That's why your operators today can contact them. The people here, as well as the astronauts, are licensed to talk to each other, and you are allowed to talk over to their radio.
For our conversation today, we'll need an amateur radio station on the ground, either in this location or somewhere else around the world. We'll also need a radio in the space station.
Anyone SS?
You can hear the calls coming. This is November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra, the International Space Station, over.
On the space station, the radio transceiver is connected to an amateur radio antenna mounted on the outside. One of these antennas will be used today during our contact.
For our side of the contact, we need a good-sized antenna, a signal amplifier, something to make our signal stronger, and a rotator for turning our antenna. We have to keep our antenna pointed right at the International Space Station.
And remember, it's moving across the sky and fast.
To aim the antenna properly, we need to track the path of the space station exactly. NASA uses complex systems to track the path of the space station and other orbiting objects.
The satellite tracking program we are using works out a complicated set of mathematics to provide the orbital location of the space station moment by moment as it moves through space. This information is sent into the computer that controls the antenna rotator, which moves the antenna to follow the space station. Maybe some of you have seen or worked with robotics. That's pretty cool stuff. And just like you can program a robot where to go, what to do, and how to get there, you can also program a computer to tell an antenna how to track the space station across the sky.
You know, it took a lot of planning to get this contact. Several weeks ago, the ARISS operations team had to figure out when the space station's orbit would pass over this location. Then, they had to talk with the planners at NASA's Johnson Space Center. The crew's time is pretty full, so they were able to find a time that could work for the crew members' schedules. Once they found times that would work both in space and here on the ground, the host organized this contact. And in just a few minutes, you'll be hearing and talking to the astronauts.
Well, it's almost time for your contact. It will be exciting, so good luck with it.
You know, I applied 3 times to become an astronaut. I got rejected twice. It took me 10 years. Hi, I'm Nick Haig, Air Force Colonel, NASA astronaut, flight engineer aboard Soyuz MS-10, which aborted in October of 2018, and flight engineer aboard Soyuz MS-12, which made it to the space station, where I was on board for expeditions 59 and 60 for 203 days. Ever since I was little, I'd look up at the night sky and wonder what was out there. So there was always this deep fascination with space and the unknown and wanting to discover new things. But it was really in the Air Force when I got introduced to flight tests and working on complex machinery and having to do new things that it hadn't done before. That really sung to the inner engineer in me. You know, everybody starts with the first job. My first job was waxing school buses for the school district. There is no less glorious job than hand waxing gigantic yellow school buses. From there in high school, I graduated to construction work, building houses and roofing houses. I graduated from a small little school out in Northwest Kansas. And from there I went to the Air Force Academy and studied astronautical engineering. Continued those studies at MIT in aeronautical and astronautical engineering. Managed to find my way to Air Force Test Pilot School and went through there as a flight test engineer, and continued my studies at NASA starting in 2013, where I started training to become an astronaut and eventually fly on the space station. Life's full of obstacles, so I think if there was a thread through my career, I think if you look at anybody's life, you have obstacles, things that don't work out like you planned them to work out. I can go back and look at, I applied or 3 times to become an astronaut. I got rejected twice. It took me 10 years. And so at that point, you can decide to give up, or you can decide to, hey, it didn't work out this time, but I'm going to pursue my dream. And that really is what defines everybody, and is how you respond to somebody saying no, how you respond to a little bit of adversity. Everything makes you who you are. I think that if I look back in the sum total of my experience, the things that I've done taught me to work hard. They taught me the technical things that I needed to know, but more importantly, they taught me how to work with people. And that is really the fundamental skill that you have to do what we're doing when we venture out into space. You fly to space in a capsule with your crewmates, your friends, your family that you take with you there, and being able to work together is so important.
thank you very much. We are trying to fill in a little bit of time. We've got 5 minutes, so at this time, I'm going to give a shout out to each of our middle schools. So if our middle schools can please get ready via Zoom, we're going to shout you out in just a second. And where are we? Hillcrest Middle School, Principal Staggers and Miss Gardner, congratulations to y'all. How about a little wave, students? And then we're going to...
Gotcha.
I'm just going to give everybody a shout out. Principal Williams and Joni McDaniel from Lake Marion Middle School. Principal Edie and Miss Cheryl Lewis from Dr. Ronald E. McNair School of Digital Communication and Leadership. And I already did Principal Staggers. So congratulations, students. I also here have seen Mr. Fred and personally, yes, please give him a round of applause. It is non-stop on a weekly, if not more basis, where I look out of my window, he's pulled up to the parking lot, he's got boxes after boxes and carts and pulling everything inside to help you students. So one more time, students, please give him a round of applause. And we're getting closer. We're going to fill some time now. Dr. Ferguson, anything? Yes, awesome. Yes, she's going to give some shout outs to our participating student teams.
All right, so we would ask that when you hear your team name, that you let us know that you're here. I know online we might only be able to see a wave, but we want you to know that you are recognized. And we thank you for the great work that you shared. But we thought some of your team names were pretty outstanding, so we want to share those today, if you will. Again, give us a little shout out, a little nod, and we're going to start with this one. Overtake the Billionaires. Are you here? Yes, they're here. Absolutely at Woodland. So we have some other team names. The Biggest. Are you here, the Biggest? Okay, I got a little wave. They're in the room as well. We have some that were Space Elite. We love that name, Space Elite. We have some Tech Titans. We had some that were a little on the line. I think we had a Krabby Patty somewhere. Yeah, we had that at Woodland. We also had some, we found this to be very interesting and so relational to being an adult. We had some teams that had a little trouble agreeing on what the team name might be. So they had two names. But what I think they failed to realize is when they put those two together and made themselves Team Galaxy Spacewalkers, they had a beautiful name. So we learned a little bit about team building and how to bring it all together. Oh, perfect. Well, there I go. Looks like it's time now to hear from the true astronaut. No, they're ready for the call.
NA1SS, NA1SS, this is N4EE, calling for scheduled school contact. Over. NA1SS, NA1SS, this is
November 4, Echo, Echo, over.
November 4, Echo, Echo. This is NA1SS, over.
NA1SS, this is November 4, Echo, Echo, calling for scheduled school contact, over.
November 4, Echo, Echo. This is NA1SS, over.
NA1SS, this is November 4, Echo, Echo, calling for scheduled school contact, over.
November 4, Echo, Echo. This is NA1SS, switching to backup channel. Over. Echo, Echo. This is NA1SS, over.
NA1SS.
Hang on, stop. Now go.
NA1SS, are you ready for questions? Over.
November 4, Echo, Echo. This is NA1SS, over.
NA1SS. NA1SS, this is November 4, Echo, Echo, calling for scheduled school contact. Over.
November 4, Echo, Echo. This is NA1SS. I've got you loud and clear, over.
The first question. Over.
Absolutely. Let's go, over.
Hello, my name is Stacy. I have read where yours were experiments. I was all planning to how that were the
November 4, Echo, Echo. I've got you loud and clear. It seems like we dropped the school, though.
Are you ready for questions? Over.
Ready for questions.
Hello, this is Peyton in the sky, 8th grade. What is your scariest experience you had being in space so far, and how did you handle that situation?
Yeah, my scariest experience was actually being on a rocket launching to space, and the rocket essentially exploded. It came apart, and so we had to eject from that rocket. And how do you handle that? Lots and lots of training. So when you're in that moment, you know exactly what to do. Over.
Hello, this is Landon. What drove you to become an astronaut and explore the wonders of space? Over.
Ever since I was little, maybe even younger than you are, I'd look up at the night sky and wonder what's out there. And that sense of wonder and the idea of going and discovering new things has always driven me. Over.
Hello, this is Keisha and Tanaya, 8th grade. What is the most enjoyable part of researching and experimenting in microgravity, exposure to space, and our unique orbit? Over.
I think the most enjoyable part is being part of such a huge team that spans the globe and all these different research teams. I'm just an extension of the teams on the ground up here, and getting to meet those researchers that have spent so long trying to answer really problems and helping them is truly rewarding. Over.
Hello, this is Carmelo, 8th grade. What project are you currently working on in space? Over.
Yeah, we've worked on about 300 different experiments over the course of our 6 months up here. The biggest project we're working on right now is actually packing